Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are now tuned in to the TKB Report. I'm your host, K.Langevine, and today's guest is hard to put in a box. He's a singer, songwriter, producer. He has a sound that bridges the gaps between Motown and Uptown Records. You know, shout out to Berry Gordy and the late, great Andre Harrell. If there were ever to be a biopic of the legendary Sam Cooke, this man should get the job hands down, and no one else should have an audition.
Hey, man, your mouth God's ears.
You know, his talent is next level. His music is timeless. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming the new voice of soul, Mr. Brad Marquis.
Goody, yo. Goody. How everybody doing out there?
And the music I've been playing since I came on has been the guest of today, Brad Marquis. Love will find a way. So what's up, good brother? Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Folks don't even know how long time coming.
I was thinking of some things, man. I was the first time, and I want to say this before I let you introduce yourself, but this has been, you know, like a lot of cats, they want to be rappers and football players and all that. Like for a very long time, I always wanted to be in a position to like talk to people who are doing some amazing, incredible things. Like I used to listen to every radio station, and I said, yo, one day I can do that. And you had a show, and this is after we developed our friendship. You had a show in New York with at Drone.
Okay.
And after you performed, and we got pictures of you sent me a pic the other day. After you performed, we went upstairs like in the green room or whatever, and I put
my album release party.
You know. And I sat down and I interviewed her, and I did it on the phone. That's how, like, way back. Like, I did it on the phone because I was just so tuned in and focused on trying to get to this level where I can have a platform like this. And you were the first artist to allow me to do that. So for that, I want to say thank you. And all those years later, I get a chance to sit down and talk to you like this, man. So, you know, I guess things come full circle. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a journalist when I had no clue what that life was about. So thank you, sir. Cheers to you.
Man, no need to thank me for any of that, man. I posted in promoting this process, this project. I posted that you were the first person fresh out of college that gave me an opportunity to perform on stage. You know, this is what Diva Line,
yes,
APs, and you know, Naughty by Nature, and all of that. You know,
yes,
all of that. You know, and it's crazy. I just had a birthday party for my mom, right, a couple weeks ago.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Right, and my keyboardist at the time, he came by the house. I ain't seen him in years, so he came by the house and hung out for the party or what have you. And he was telling me the story about when we were at 88 Keys, and I think it was Vinny's birthday. I think it was. And you know, Trench, Vinny, and all of them came through to throw a party, and I was on stage, you know, singing my love songs, singing my sad songs.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I'm thinking back at the time, I was like, you know, I remember that night when I got on stage, I was all brokenhearted because me and my ex-fiance or whatever had gotten some big old argument, and I thought, you know, I think that was like the beginning of the end, you know, that situation. But I came in that night, everybody was in the building ready to, you know, turn up, get going for the party.
Yeah.
You know, and they're singing John Legend, you know. you know, just keeping it mellow. And I remember Tretch got on the stage and put his arm around me like, bro, we hear you, dude. We hear you singing. Like, we know, we get it.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to move it along because you're ready to
go. Now, peace, DC. Peace, baby. Listen, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been the night that we met, that I saw you first. No, matter of fact, it wasn't because I would remember if it was a Naughty by Nature party. But I do think the first time that I discovered your talent was at 88 Keys. And that's back when, you know, with the Diva days, and I was out scouting talent. You know, shout out to Kenya. I think I was with, you know, my partner at the time, Kenya. Shout out to Spence, you know, my brother. And I was like, yo, this brother is going to be a star. Like, I need to have him on the show. And when we met, you told me you were from Trenton. And I was like, damn, that's a long track to come from Trenton to Montclair. That's like going from south all the way up north. Like, that's two different spectrums. But you came out, man, and killed the show, man.
I mean, how could I not, man? You know, I'm a newbie in the game, man. I was just looking for opportunities to learn to do what I do right now. You know, I didn't know what I was doing at that time, man. I was trying to figure it out, and you know, you provide an opportunity for me to figure it out. You know, beginning phase, man. I couldn't be more great.
Nah, man, that was.
Brother's confident. Your confidence in me helped my confidence in me.
Yeah, that was my pleasure, man, because we had a formula back then, and the formula is still to this day. Like, there were a lot of people, and I think when I met you, I'm not sure if it was a big crowd or not, because I think it was just, I kind of was like tunnel vision. I was like, yo, this brother, like, if I had a record label, I'd have signed you. But but the formula was always, I've been to New York, Philly, all over trying to get talent to come to Divas.
Right.
And you would go to these places and it would be somebody's up there who is, they all right, but they got 200-300 people. And so now that makes the show, that makes them look more talented than they actually are.
Yeah.
My goal was always, listen, I'm gonna get them and let them be a part of the show and bring all their people. But I gotta get the heavy hitters in the building so that once all those people see what we have to offer, they're gonna call other people to come that night, because the shows were early. And I remember that night specifically, it was a lot of people in there because it was a couple of artists that we booked from the area that had a crazy following.
Oh, it was
and
packed.
by the time it was packed, and by the time you finished performing, everybody that was in there was just like, yo, you got to get here. You got to get here. You got to get here. This dude is amazing. You got to get here. You got to get here. You got to get here. And that just made the party that much better. So
I was just piggybacking off that. I remember walking to the stage, and then I remember I couldn't get from the stage when I walked off.
Absolutely. You know, but you know, enough about memory lane. Do me a favor. Tell the people who you are. Tell the people who you are, where you from.
You just did.
just so Jersey bound, South Jersey, North Jersey.
Well, we you know, depends on where you at. We central.
Central, okay.
Trenton, New Jersey. Born and raised, and I've spent a lot of time in a lot of places. Ohio, you know, being one of them. Youngstown, Cincinnati. Lived in Brooklyn, New York for many moons. You know, is where I really took my career to the next levels when I moved up to New York. And yeah, I've been living in Jersey since I left New York. You know, been singing, acting, producing, writing. You know, been able to travel around the world doing this music thing on tours with major artists, this, that, and the other. And you know, it's been an incredible journey. You know, with I talk to my peoples all the time. Like, you can't imagine in the last 15 years, this music business has changed.
Yes.
You know, how many times in the last week, seems like every other year, you know, there's a new technology, a new something that makes you have to evolve as an artist, you know, or think of new ways to connect with your fan base, or, you know, promote your music, and new ways of creating income off of it. And, continuously evolve, you know, or just get left behind. And it's just interesting, you know, you have to find ways to do it that fits you comfortably, because if not, then it's not going to be authentic. And in these days, you know, with so many artists out there, authenticity is, to me, what stands out the most.
So now being authentic is not a problem that you have. I was listening, you know, and doing the research for this. I said, let me go back and listen to his music. And I don't know if you remember this. I bought 2 copies that night because I wanted one, you know, when you get your gold, you know, your platinum plaques and your Grammys and all that, that I could say, yo, I actually have an autographed album cover of Brad Marquis. So I'm listening to the music, right? And I'm like, yo, this doesn't sound like anything. And in the intro, I said that it is a mixture of Motown and Uptown.
Yeah.
There's a song that you have, and it has it got a Christopher Williams vibe. And Christopher Williams was signed to Uptown Records.
Yeah.
But I think anybody who knows your musical career knows that you have an affinity for Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Now, I just want you to speak on the love for Sam Cooke, like where that came from, and why you didn't allow the nuances of the game where people were going in different directions sonically and whatnot, and you kind of stayed in the lane of soulful love ballads. So could you speak to that?
Well, that's who I am. You know, I write about what I know about. I write about the things that I'm experiencing, things that I'm going through. And for those first 3 projects, that was real heavy on my mind. You know, I had to evolve as a person, as an artist, to really start to step out and write about other things, you know, Marvin Gaye style, Stevie Wonder style. You know, when you start, you know, talking about other aspects of life outside of a male relationship, or just a, you know, relational, you know, in those type of love, romantic, relational kind of things. You know, so I had to grow up and find my voice and find, you know, center myself and find myself in order to start writing other songs like No War or the next single that I'm coming with. And, you know, I periodically wrote songs like that on my projects, you know, Finding My Way and, you know, Still Got Love. And there's songs on each of my projects that kind of speak to that. But, you know, the song for me, like you said, I mean, you hit the nail on the head in reference to Uptown. Uptown is what I grew up on. You know, Uptown Bad Boy is kind of that era when I fell in love with music. I listened to music before that, but I fell in love with music. I can take 5 of the MCs, treat them like they want to be treated. That was it for me. You know, when I heard that was it. And then once Jodeci dropped their album, it was over. I wanted to start making music. I wanted to create that sound that I heard with Jodeci and then Mary J and all of that. So